Epstein files, the war in Iran, none of that changes because the Democratic candidate is changing or there was some chaos on our end. I don't think people give a shit who the Democrat is right now. They're voting for anybody with a D next to their name.
Yeah, but Guy, you gotta understand, like, sure, politically informed people are just gonna say vote blue no matter who, even if they replace them with a completely unknown. But if people don't know who the replacement is, which is very likely,
if Obama
and actually this happened to me.
Nation, he would move to Maine.
True.
Touch on that idea. Like we had Gonzalez on last week, and I did some phone banking. A lot of people just didn't know who she was. I mean, Hickenlooper just has so much, history there. If they don't know who they are, and she ran like a very short campaign comparatively, I think, to other people, and they're just not going to know.
The margin got real close to the end there. It was like 4, right, after the ballots came in.
But hold on, you're saying that name recognition was everything, but that was not D versus R. That was 2 Democrats.
The same people, by the way, the same country that complained somehow Palpatine returned was bad writing are complaining somehow the guy with the Nazi tattoo who cheated on his wife was a bad dude.
True.
Unreal, dude.
So
Whatever.
I'm just saying, like, when it comes down to it, people are voting on the economy. They're voting on Trump. This is a referendum on Trump, not on the Democrats or who the Democrats put up. I don't think anybody gives a shit who the Democrats put up, which there seems to be a lot of evidence to support that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think this changes much. Yes, it's drama. Yes, it's chaos. But our voters going to go, I can't vote for the Democrats. There's too much chaos over there. This guy dropped out. He did weird shit. Are they going to go, I got to vote for the person who's going to make life more affordable for me?
I mean, look at what happened when Kamala took over, right? So, like, they broke, it was 2 straight days of breaking fundraising records. And so hopefully the party makes a good decision. And I'd really hope they don't pick Mills. I think that would be a disaster. But, if they pick a younger face, then that person might be met with like a deluge of donations. So, yeah, I would not say that this race is like unwinnable now at this point. A generic Democrat versus Collins right now, I still like those odds in the current climate. So I think Guy's right about that. I don't know if you're right about like they don't care who runs. I think a lot of people definitely care.
They care enough to not want to support this guy. But maybe we should do that thing they're doing where they just like throw in guys with like random, so it's Barack Obama, the second or whatever. We got to name a guy, generic Democrat, and have him run.
John Democrat, where is
he? To your point before Pisco was like, I don't know who said it, was it Pisco or Ira that said now's the time to just like move on? I don't agree with you. Like if you're just one of these people that genuinely liked his message and you weren't like shit talking people, that's one thing, that's fine, okay. But there are a lot of prominent voices that should be very much held to account over the next week. Pull up receipts, including the pod boys. Pull up receipts. Don't let them forget that they fucking gaslit people.
Okay, I'm not making
no, not or what, Dutch, for what? Right? No, you can't do the Planner Boys anymore. It's canceled. But for what? So who are the class of people? So for example, I'll just be upfront. I endorsed Plattner before the primary was over. Who needs to apologize? No. I'm just asking. Who are the people?
Also, why isn't that like cringe or what? I don't know why. Like to make the like a tweet and everything.
Want your best candidate?
Yeah, I don't know. That was just weird. It was obviously a huge virtue signal, but whatever.
Let me just give you a little bit of a paint. For what? The question is for what? What is the thing that is a wrong
for gaslighting us. They
regarding what?
The fuck out of us. They told us that these things were like not that big of a deal.
The establishment is going after him. It's not nearly so serious.
Yeah.
Those people, the establishment people always. There's a standing cringe and standing criticism that establishment shit, and you're looking at the Cenk Uygurs of the world. Yes, the Hassan Pikers of the world. Those people always, for sure, 100%.
I mean, to Hassan's credit though, he like tepidly endorsed Plattner. Like to my knowledge, I don't think he was ever like fully in the tank. But the problem, like the amount of people in this space that ran the most insane defense for this guy and fucking gaslit the rest of us, they should take a hit in their credibility, in my opinion. They should be.
Did you apologize for endorsing Joe Biden?
No.
Oh my God!
I agree. I agree. You should. No,
that's not the same thing. No. Wait.
Let me get to it.
Oh my God! Hutch is about to die. Oh, Pisco's on that rage bait life, and this is why I'll never hate Pisco, because I know my boy Pisco is not as fucking retarded as the words that come out of his mouth. So he's got to be trolling. I know he's trolling and rage baiting, and I respect the hustle. I respect this hustle right now, because I know Pisco's not this fucking retarded. He can't be, unless he got kicked in the head by a fucking horse recently. There's no way that it's not possible.
With the equivalent
of people. Let me get to it, please.
But real quick, the equivalent would be, Hutch, did you defend the dementia stuff, where you're like, no, his brain's fine?
I still
I know that. Yes, no. Let me get to it. Let me get to it, please. Okay. I would, of course, never say that Hutch lied about cognitive decline about Joe Biden. I've never made that claim. Obviously, individuals, to the extent that they're saying things that are totally unjustifiable, who are smearing people without any good evidence. I saw Cenk Uygur. I just responded to this. Go after McMorrow, said that she dropped out because of 8-pack. All this shit is fucking disgusting. All right. So there's that class of thing. The people who are in that brain rot scenario who said those brain rot things. Here's what I don't abide. Right. The people who, after Joe Biden dropped, for example, saying like we're vindicated. We are vindicated because all you people, we stood out and did not endorse Joe Biden. And you guys did, and now you guys fucked up and you guys suck. Now, here's the difference, right? Someone like Ezra Klein, who did endorse Joe Biden, but who called out all the bad stuff all along the way, I think made the right calculus, right? Because that is someone who is being honest, being more upfront about like the problems that Joe Biden was facing. Notwithstanding that, it was the correct decision. And it's the only way in which I'm comparing. I'm not comparing it in any other respect. I'm not saying that Joe Biden is like a rapist, all right? The way in which I'm comparing it is the moral conclusion on the endorsement, especially in the context of the general. To me, that's not a close call. And there is zero vindication for people who, in my view, like were about to stand out of the general election or to say, maybe Collins gets voted in. That I think.
I mean, like if people were doing that, that's retarded. We agree. But again, he's doing this trick. He's talking so far ahead. He's talking so far ahead of the general. He's talking way far ahead to the general. This guy endorsed him 2 months ago, bro.
Unjustifiable.
Damn. Well, I want to push Hutch a little bit and say, what do we have time to hold these people accountable right now? Is now the time? Like, these people are dumbass dipshits, and it's just another mark on the board of dumbass did another dumb thing, right? Like,
There's
they
always
don't care.
time. There's always time to hold people accountable.
But like, what's going to come out of that? Like, the Kyle Kalinskis of the world are just going to be like, AIPAC did this, or the establishment is the reason why we're here. Like, these people are brain broken, man.
Number one, it's good content. Number
He's
two,
always right.
it's
He's
generally
the right
good to
guy.
like hold people accountable for running insane defense for people. Like, yes,
That was so transparent. What number one? I want to milk this for money. Is that really like that's the guy's whole point? Is that really what you should be doing?
Hey, man.
what are we all doing? Like, I'm sorry, am I the only one that's in this racket? I mean,
If I wanted to just make money, I'd be a right wing grifter. We still have principles, right? Like, what are we spending our time? We have a zero sum amount of time every day.
I said
Right?
there was a number two, and the number two is it's always good to hold people accountable who ran fucking insane defense for this guy.
Yep.
Dude, we should not let these people get off the hook, man. They went so hard. It would be
did.
one thing if they were like kind of lightly, but they went so fucking hard against anyone who voiced concerns about this guy.
Yep,
they
they
were
did.
they were smearing the people that were voicing their concerns
They
about this guy.
were. Yeah.
They
Why doesn't he call it his
relentlessly gassed with
co-host?
us, and they did it to like the 10th degree. If you go back and watch Kalinski's videos talking about this, bro, he
Oh
goes
my God,
so
dude,
hard.
Kalinski
You mean on the
legit,
original New York
including,
Times
on everything, every step of the
this
way, bro.
dude.
Every step of the way, he totally dismissed any concerns about this guy as being like a part of like centrist smears from the establishment.
Yeah.
Okay, but Hutch, let me give you an example. If someone comes up to you, Hutch, let's
About
say this man's
Biden.
name, I don't know, let's put it out there, Wick TV, who, by the way, tomorrow, Wick TV, Democrats versus Republican debate that's happening, I'm going to be on there with Dev. So wait, Hutch, Wick comes up to you and says, you know what, Hutch, I don't trust Plattner, he's not good for us, it's not okay for this to occur, and then he's like, and you know what, I'm not going to endorse Plattner for the general, I'm just going to sit it out. You would be right.
Nobody's gonna catch this. Fuck. Like the soy pill caught it like unintentionally without realizing that like Pisco's playing such a fucking sneak fuck game here. Nobody's gonna catch this. Pisco keeps talking about the general. I don't think even I'm sorry. No, I know that Hutch donated $50 to him. Every single person that I know of. I'm sure maybe there are some fucking wackos that were like, oh, I'm not even gonna support him in the
I think
general.
Wick was saying he wouldn't support him in the general. I'm like 90% sure I was on the panel.
Okay, that's wild in my opinion. But I think
Agreed.
most people, especially on this show, with Soy Pill obviously, and everybody else, Hutch and IRI definitely would have supported him in the general. So, but Pisco keeps talking past us like, "Oh, who's wouldn't support him in the general? You endorsed this motherfucker 2 months ago."
To criticize that, wouldn't you?
I'm not talking
No,
about.
I'm asking you the question directly.
You know
I'm not,
where
I know
I'm
you're
at.
not.
You know
no,
where
no,
I'm at.
I'm asking you to answer it, Hutch. So in that situation, it would be correct to criticize someone who's holding out endorsement in that context, correct?
In my opinion, yes, but you know my position. I'm like maximally blue no matter who.
But that's why I'm just trying to clarify for the audience.
That's
We
not
all
what
agree with that
I'm-
fundamentals. And the people who you are saying are smearing, who are being incredibly overly harsh in ways that aren't justified, I'm 100% with you.
To Hutch's defense, that this is content, I don't have a problem with that at all. The whole
Yeah, make
point
it
of what we do
content.
here is to make politics more accessible, and that includes highlighting drama and beefs and stuff. So I genuinely have no problem with that. I look forward to your week-long victory lap of gloating.
This is not, this is not great. This is not great for the Democratic Party. It's not great for our prospects in Maine. There was just such a better way to handle this. But my main issue, as it's always been, has been like at every step of the way, there were people like, and it's somebody in chat asked me to name names. It would be easier for me to name the names of people who didn't do this. Like it was so prevalent in the space. Like these like very vociferous kind of defenses of this guy.
True.
That it would just be easier for me to list who didn't do it. I mean, like almost all of them were just fully in the tank for this guy and accusing everybody of being like shills that are just like they just hate progressives and they don't want to see a progressive win.
Well, I mean, I also don't want it to get lost that people like you and I, who may not have been supportive of Plattner, came around once he won the primary and said, okay, we led by example. This is how we're going to support the Democratic candidate and respect the nominee.
What was
hope
the
that
day
those
the other
individuals
person
can
announced
return
they were
the favor
suspending their
moving
campaign or
forward. I doubt they'll
whatever?
learn their lesson, but I don't want that to get lost because we just pound on them for, you defended
For
this idiot,
Mills?
you defended this idiot. I'd rather the story be, hey, remember when we backed him up because he won the nomination, even though we were suspicious and concerned?
No, I respect that a lot, and I think that's all fine, well and good. And in the primary, that's all fine, well and good. I'm just saying, in the debate that Soy Pill, I forget what panel it was specifically. I think it was a specific Plattner panel. I'd rather be on the Soy Pill part of that debate than on the Wick side of that debate. I think that Soy Pill was right in that debate over Wick. And so that's all I'm trying to say is that, yeah, 100% makes sense from a strategic, from a harm reduction perspective. Now, the call on Plattner to resign, 100%. And nothing changes before. We are still faced with that threat, and it's time for us as a party to find someone who can beat Susan Collins. And that's the spirit, I think, in which IRI is saying, let's move on and get to it because we want to win.
I would like to ask Pisco and Soy Pill, because you guys are in some more left circles, not accusing you of anything, just saying, Hutch and I can't seem to stand these people, but you guys are interacting with them. Do they feel like this hurts their chances of further left and more progressive candidates winning now? You said, Pisco, that they're kind of disillusioned, but do you think that they see this as, holy shit, our movement is screwed?
No, I don't think so. And I don't think it should, like, just like Swalwell's brand of politics shouldn't be corrupted because of his allegations or a particular, these kinds of allegations, to the extent that there's a disconnect and it's disjointed from ideologies, approaches, that kind of stuff, I don't think should in any way change what we should do as a party or as a country in that respect, other than, I guess, the meta conversation about how we have conversations, and to Hutch's point about the broader discourse and his critiques there, which is totally fine. What I'm seeing from people, again, just that I follow, is just people who are anguished.
Well, people are saying that she ended her campaign at the end of April. If that's so, then Pisco's endorsement tweet is not as bad. No.
A lot of people who are anguished. Some people who I think are being like, maybe a little bit, I don't know, a little bit, they are being more outraged or whatever, and perhaps hiding how vigorously they were against people who were against Plattner back in the day. But in general, what I'm seeing is a lot of people who are disappointed. That's what I'm seeing.
So is there no blaming of AIPAC? Anything like that?
I'm not seeing that.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah,
No, Jank, wait, no, sorry, I'm wrong. I did see that. So I saw Jank post something like, this kind of inquiry would never happen of a Susan Collins type. And so actually, I'm going to take that back. There are people who are, I think, including Cenk Uygur, who's one of the biggest left-wing commentators, who are continuing to say that, like, I don't know, AIPAC is somehow behind the double standard or something.
Cenk is like the last warrior standing. Like basically every left-wing account that popped up on my feed tonight was, who had previously been supporting him were saying, okay, this is the final straw. But Cenk is...
Oh, Jesus.
I just wanted to jump. Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump on here to address the serious, credible allegations against Graham Plattner. This story is devastating. I believe the victim here. I think that Graham should drop out of the race. He has betrayed many, many supporters by not being forthright about this. I would include myself in that. I believed his campaign when they said that there was nothing new coming out, and it looks like an awful, awful accusation, an incredible one, has come out. Now, this movement has never been about one individual. Any candidate that takes up the mantle here should share Graham's belief, or the campaign's belief, in ending complicity in the genocide in Gaza, Medicare for all, taxing billionaires, and more. But obviously, this is a devastating development, and we'll be talking about it more on the Majority Report tomorrow. Hey, everybody, I just want to jump on here to address the serious...
Oh, somebody said he won a debate endorsing Plattner. This was May 27th. In the general, the official primary vote is essentially a formality. Plattner's won. Did you support Mills before she dropped out, or were you always supporting Plattner? I endorsed Plattner for the primary as well, pre-dropout. Could debate that too. Well, okay, from you two, thank you for the $100. Even when Pisco was in the right, he was insufferable. Pisco can never admit defeat and will semantically twist a conversation to a mutated, unrecognizable bastard's version of the actual topic. Damn. Hater alert.
Is this the one right here?
Still in the trenches. He's done like 10 tweets about this.
You know what's an enormous scandal in the main Senate race, guys? Susan Collins has taken $1.8 million from Israeli lobby to betray Americans and serve another country. But legacy media covers that kind of treachery and corruption, so they don't even cover it, or they love that kind of treachery. Excuse me. Yeah, it's despicable. Yeah, I guess this is like deflection to AIPAC.
Yep, got to get Israel in there somehow, I guess.
The reason IRI that I don't think that like the people that you're talking about are going to feel deflated is because they had a really good night a week ago in was it Colorado?
Yeah, Colorado, Melak Heroes won. New York, obviously, a week before. Like, so there, this is an L.
You know what the real question is? Because Plattner must have seen that woman's name in the first New York Times story. Did he just expect that nothing would come out, or that she wouldn't do anything else? I wonder if he tried to reach out and communicate with her at all, or.
But it's not like every single candidate was like, losing, and this is our last hope, guys, our last DSA. I don't think this is going to deflate them nearly so much as like it won't matter to them in 2 or 3 months. But and by the way, when I say like Hutch, you're turning this into content, I don't think you shouldn't talk about this. I just mean like how much time should you dedicate, and are you putting an inordinate amount of time? But absolutely, in the future, you should be able to hold this to them and be like, hey, remember when you fucking said like I was stupid for saying Plattner was a bad choice? Yeah, hold that shit over their heads. Like,
yep,
I will be petty and vindictive about this.
You should be.
I will do it.
Yeah, obviously, by the way, I would grant that in retrospect, he was obviously the wrong choice in retrospect.
Oh
right?
my God.
At the moment,
there's no way we could have known.
And you would be irrational to, I think, not consider updates on our priors as time went on. And let me give you the other alternative. Let's say that this story never comes out, and it really was the case that the only information we had regarding Plattner was what was available before this dropped. In that case, I think you would look sideways at someone who chose to sit it out, who was relevant to endorse. And so, yeah, I think that all is that there's different layers to this, and different kinds of things can be criticized differently, like an endorsement in the primary, an endorsement in the general, deflections, obvious bad faith arguments, etc., etc.
Oh, man. I just think this is... We haven't seen this a lot, right? Like Biden dropping out, and now this, if he drops out, which sounds like he will. So it's kind of unusual, but I feel like, this is to be expected in today's crazy, fast-moving political environment. We should get used to more stuff like this happening. It shouldn't... I guess I'm just not shocked at any of this. I'm like, whatever, man. This is the ride, we just roll with it. Thank God it happened now and not in 2 weeks when the deadline passed and they can't get a new person in there, So thank you, lady, for coming forward with your fucked up story. I'm sorry that happened to you, but at least the time...
Well, obviously the establishment told her to come forward in time for them to get a replacement guy, don't you know?
True. Well, here's the thing. Plattner denies this. Does nobody believe him?
I don't believe.
I'm just curious.
I do think that he is a liar, and I just think that he has. That's been true to me. I think he lied about the Nazi tattoo, about when he got the Nazi tattoo. I think he lied about The fact now clearly that there wasn't anything else dropping, right? Like leadership about that was all reported. So the guy's a liar. I don't believe him.
I do want to say one last thing on this, and that is, do not ever let a fuck-ass Trump supporter tell you that you supported a rapist, because they're all Trump voters, and they have no ground to stand on. I'm sorry.
Well, duh.
Yeah, I mean, Plattner was always tough. We've got some rock stars like Tallarico, Patola, Josh Turek, the Paralympian in Iowa. I mean, you name it. We've got some awesome candidates, and it was always kind of a bummer this guy was dragging them down. So I try to see the silver lining in all of it, and maybe we'll get some rock star on the other end of this that takes off like a rocket ship.
Yeah, ideally, this should be, I think, a learning experience in a different kind of way. I'm just going to be fully condescending tonight. I don't give a fuck. But, apropos of nothing, the entire Dune series from Frank Herbert is about avoiding the pitfalls of putting way too much faith and stock in charismatic leaders. And I hope that people can draw a lesson from this moment to not get too personally attached to someone because of ideology.
Wait,
if somebody,
I'm actually you. Did the Golden Path not ultimately end up being the utilitarian best option for the universe, despite the 61 billion jihad genocide?
Okay, first of all, spoiler alert. But second of all, there's a lot of it's meant to be ambiguous. You know, it's kind of confusing, to be honest with you. There's not really any clear moral lessons. But at least with the first book and especially the second book, it was for sure his intention to stress the idea of like not putting too much faith in charismatic leaders. Like, I don't think that you should get super attached to politicians just because they speak your language, because that gives such a wide open lane to con men and grifters. And I've felt for a long time at this point that Plattner is just like an obvious con man. So,
well, I never saw people inspired by Plattner, like his life story or who he is.
There were a lot
Really?
that got really personally attached to him, for sure.
Okay.
But the first time I heard of Plattner was Hutch saying, "Look how charismatic this guy is! Like, he's a good speaker. He's like a man of the people. He's got the gravelly voice. Like, you know, it's gravelly voice too."
I didn't see anybody comparing him to like Obama, like Tallarico, or anything like that. No, I'm not saying you're wrong, Hutch. I'm just saying I didn't really get that. What I got was the movement, the anti-establishment, and that's what people were getting behind. So I don't think it even mattered the person. So they could just swap him out with someone else who's anti-establishment and be just as happy. So
yeah, who were the people that pushed for Plattner to run again?
People were more attached to the character.
They kept going to him over and over again and begging him to join the race. Who was that? Does anybody remember?
I did. They were. He was honestly, in terms of the Senate races, people were more fired up about in.
Here we go again.
It's the DSA, by the way.
For their liking. So I say all of this to say it is getting weird, and online leftists like Kyle Kalinske continue to show why they are more MAGA adjacent than anybody.
Well, that was probably one of the most embarrassing videos I've ever seen in my life. So now, if you are willing to do anything and everything to defeat MAGA, you are MAGA. That's how that works. So by being the most against MAGA, you are now MAGA. Is that the argument? Let me understand that correctly. So the only way to defeat MAGA is to, when they go low, we go high, and lay in a chalk outline of ourselves. And every single dumbass smear story they come up with, you immediately have to cave to the bad faith attempt to destroy this man and give them exactly what they want. So in order to defeat MAGA, you need to give MAGA exactly what the fuck they want. Let me be clear, because perhaps I was unclear in my tweet saying he could sex my mom and I still support him. Graham Plattner can fuck a toaster. Graham Plattner can shove a pineapple up his ass. Graham Plattner can shove a pineapple up his dick hole for all I care. Graham Plattner can jack off to a cartoon of Scooby-Doo wearing Brian Noam's big ass titties. And I will crawl over fucking broken glass to support that man. Why? Because he actually wants to end the wars. Because he actually wants to stand up to the Israeli genocidal terror state currently doing multiple genocide. Because he actually wants to crack down on the Epstein class and arrest the criminals and raise taxes on billionaires and take that money and redistribute it and give people healthcare, give people education, give people higher wages, give people unions, actually fucking fix this country and the crime spree of MAGA and arrest the criminal terrorists inside the Trump regime. If you're willing to do those things, I don't give a fuck what happens in your sex life, bro. Let me say, I do not care at all. And anybody who does, I find you rather unserious. I find you unfit for this moment that we're living in, where fascism is actually taking over the country. It's actually happening. And instead of going after the fascists, you're going after the anti-fascists because of reasons and stuff and things. Well, forgive me, but I find that wholly unconvincing. And by the way, Graham Plattner, go ahead and sex my mom. I don't give a fuck. You want to sex my sister? Go right ahead. You can sex her too. Genuinely don't care. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And
at this point, you hadn't
Do you think he still
vetted
let him sex his mom and sister?
Maybe.
Graham Plattner. You hadn't done a full scrub of who he is. How did you go about vetting him? And why did you?
We paid a nice firm a whole chunk of money and got some stuff back. Some of what you've seen on the news we got back. Other stuff we didn't.
Did the vetting process turn up the tattoo that became so controversial?
No.
The Reddit posts, did that turn up in the vetting process?
The firm sent us a thing, and it had some of the posts, but it didn't have all of them.
And what did you think about that? How did you think your way through the fact that he had posted these things on social media?
I said none of this will or should stop him from becoming a U.S. Senator.
And what was your
Clearly the
thinking
voters
there?
agree. I think if what the voters wanted were people who were grown in vats and had never done or said anything that they might regret their entire lives, we'd have a very different country. Part of our thesis here is that people do not want their candidates grown in vats. They want people who are real human beings, and they want people who do not look and sound like the vat-grown people who've been leading this country off a cliff for the last century. and that was Graham.
Just days after this interview, more details about Plattner's past emerged.
Ooh, well, they didn't even know how bad it was going to be over here, huh? Jesus.
And
this video is turning me into a burn-it-all-down populist, ready to toss out the arrogant political elites. By the way, these are Ivy League ex-Bernie staffers who recruited Graham Plattner.
In those spaces, kind of the anti-establishment left, were probably more fired up about him than any of the other candidates.
But like people are saying Hassan like tepidly endorsed him if he even did. He maybe tacitly even, with not even talking about it. So I just didn't really see the enthusiasm from those circles about him.
Oh, bro.
Did I miss it?
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it.
There was some pretty big enthusiasm, yeah.
Definitely.
Well, speaking of APAC meddling, guys, McMorrow dropped out, and according to Cenk Uygur, this is an APAC directive to make sure that
it's so
Stevens can
crazy.
beat El Said. So what do we think about
Can
that?
I just talk about that real quick? Because I did tweet at him, and it really is an unfalsifiable dogma, right? Because there are so many like problems with this story. The first
Really?
is, if you think that she got in the race to scuttle El Sayed, well, that's not true because she started the campaign first, right? Okay. Well, if you think that she was trying to like start out as a progressive and try to be in the progressive lane initially to crowd out any other progressive that was going to come in, then why what is this plan, right? So it's to actually introduce another candidate to siphon away votes from the pro-Palestine vote, and then both of them lose. Like it makes no sense, and there's no evidentiary basis to think that he would ever be convinced away from this position.
Somebody said Kalinsky deleted all of his Plattner tweets. Is that true?
Like, what would it take for him to be convinced that this wasn't what caused her to drop out? She dropped out because she was failing in the polls. I'm sure that if you asked her, she wanted to genuinely be the senator, and then why put Stevens in, right? If you're
Uh-oh. Important to remember that Hassan Piker was working on Plattner's campaign with Morris Katz and Fight Agency. He certainly knew about this before it broke. Hassan Piker discusses Morris Katz and Fight Agency after the Graham Plattner allegations.
Tar Morris Katz and invalidate left-leaning political operatives? I mean, listen.
Mm-hmm.
I need you guys to understand something, okay?
What do we have to understand?
Morris Katz and the Fight Agency are a very good ad agency, but they are an ad agency, okay? They are not a political organization. Morris Katz worked with Micah Lasher, okay? Micah Lasher is a massive supporter of Israel. Morris Katz...
Wait, who's that's not the Micah that works with Adam Mockler, is it?
And the Fight Agency, while I like...
Who is this? Is this another person, or...?
The ads that they make, their job is to make ads. They will sometimes work with wonderful
That's Micah Irfan. Okay.
candidates and boost them, okay? And they will sometimes work with candidates that I don't agree with and I oppose, okay? This is entirely separate from the Democratic Socialists of America, okay? This is entirely separate from a political movement. They could potentially work with political movements that are aligned, even candidates that I like, even candidates that I work with, okay? But at the end of the day, it's just an ad agency. And I have made that very clear from the start. It doesn't mean anything. If anything, the person who is a movement builder that will be harmed from this association will be Bernie Sanders.
Wait, what? I don't even know the connection. He might be right. I
understand?
just don't know. Bro, this fucking fight, are we... Why does my dude keep dying? What am I supposed to do with him down there? Oh, and I took my revive material. Main Dem party's asking Plattner to step down. Bro, Plattner's gone. That didn't get canceled, right?
Tar Morris Cats and
whole goal is to try to get this, I don't know, Trojan horse of pro-Israel candidate in. Why throw Stevens in the mix to siphon away all the genuinely pro-Israel people, I guess, or the more centrist people,
was even
go
saying
after
this?
her?
Who was even
I'm just trying to think of all the,
Chank's
I'm just trying to think
theory,
of all the different formulations of how this AIPAC plot proceeds. But the truth is, we just failed at the starting gate. There's no evidence whatsoever for it. And I think not even El Sayed goes that far, right? Like, El Sayed is saying, thank you to McMorrow. She ran like a good campaign. She's a decent hard worker, like all that stuff. And so there's no need for him to come out and do this shit. But I think for him, it is a dogma, and he will never, ever be convinced otherwise.
What did he say? I didn't see that.
He tweeted something about it. I mean, I can put it up. You know.
He just said, like, this is AIPAC's doing? Or
The
like
AIPAC told her to do that now because
oh my god,
I think it's like because now they realize that she's siphoning
to help
votes
Stevens.
away. Yeah, just to help.
No
Stevens.
way.
Which I'm not even sure that there's an empirical basis to believe that would occur. There are some polls that show that McMorrow voters prefer Stevens, but there are other polls that show McMorrow voters or supporters prefer Sayed.
Today, the Israel lobby made me stop my campaign because they're panicking that El Sayed is going to win. So it's a good thing you caught onto me as AIPAC's Trojan horse.
Jesus
Otherwise, I would have done
Christ.
what they wanted anyway, as you can tell by what I'm doing today. Great commentary there, Cenk.
He's fucking gone, bro. Like, he's lost his mind. He's actually lost his mind.
Yeah, sick in the head, dude. Get help, man.
I saw Mike from PA tried to credit me with McMurrow's downfall. My mom's
I think that is a funny meme. I think all the people that you and including us have interviewed have lost. So Gonzalez didn't win. McMorrow dropped out. Was there a third one? Did you talk to? I don't know.
No, I don't know. No,
Okay, well, we should never have anyone on the show ever again, just in case, unless we don't like it.
Krishnamurthy, he was running for Senate primary. He lost.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
He had
we
had a
talked to
single
him,
successful candidate on our stream.
Guys, we need to have Trump on.
We have Rokana, but
we have Rokana.
That's true. Yeah.
Hutch wasn't there for the Mark Kelly conversation, but he's, presumably he's going to win in Arizona. Hopefully, I don't know.
Honestly, yeah, we're not batting at 0% here.
It's a funny meme. Have you seen the door version of it? There's like a door version of it where you're the Grim Reaper. That was pretty fun.
It's just amazing to me because these guys get like 7 of their preferred candidates across the country, and
I saw him say that. Wait, he replied to you, Hutch, because you were like, we actually have had some Democratic wins on the board. 2018, like you listed out a bunch of wins, and then Mike from PA was like, what does that accomplish, right? What really has that done? And like, you have done nothing, right? Like, what have the lefties done? Like, you're selling yourself short, right? Like, Bernie helped Biden's progressive domestic policy, and you're almost like cutting the legs out from underneath people who were, I think, instrumental, and I think what people acknowledge was a very pro-worker, a very good domestic agenda, and you have nothing to show for it either. And so, yeah, no, I thought that was like a shitty snipe at you as well. When you can't even acknowledge
I
those
blocked
elections
him. I
were
can't see
win.
most of the stuff that he says.
Oh, you blocked him?
I blocked that guy years ago, man. He's one of the
You
most
blocked Hassan?
unhinged. I didn't block Hassan. No, I blocked Mike.
Oh, Mike from PA. Okay.
Oh, was it Hassan that posted that or Mike?
No. Sorry, I was confusing my like who was snarking you.
No, well, Hajat Ali made some post. I can't remember what that guy, bro. That guy really bothers me. But he made some post where he was like, he said, Dem establishment have lost the House, Senate, and White House. They have failed for 10 years. The Democratic brand is the lowest it's been in 30 years. But listen to them and their strategy. This time, inshallah, this time it'll work. Like the whole, like they've failed for 10 years. It's like, okay, sure, if you ignore all the winning cycles they had, then yes, they failed for the last 10 years. But if you're going to ask the question, like, what did you do with that power? It's like, well, what were your expectations going into the Biden presidency with the 50-50 Senate? These people don't construct realistic, like a realistic framework to begin with. And so their standard is always completely out of reach. You're never going to meet their standard. And so it didn't matter that Biden was the most progressive president, maybe ever, by far. I don't even know. Definitely the most pro-worker president in decades. Definitely the most progressive president in decades. None of that matters because to them, it's nothing. He did nothing. He literally
Which
did
is why
nothing.
I like Julia Gonzalez's statement when we pressed her on would she vote for public option, where she was like, yes, but with an eye towards making it more. Like, that to me is sufficient to know that you're living in reality. But anyone who says like no to that question, I feel like that's a strain of thought that, I don't know, perfectionism that clearly isn't evident, by the way, in the terms of the candidates. But I agree. I think that people who expect Biden to have accomplished that wonder with like Manchin as your deciding vote, I think we're not living in reality.
Dude, Gonzalez actually did way better than she should have. Like, there was no national attention on that race.
Oh, in the actual margin, yeah.
In the actual margin, she came within single digits of a sitting senator. That's kind of fucking crazy.
Not just a sitting senator, like an incumbent with decades of history in that state that like
brand
has
recognition,
tons of support. Yeah, brand recognition. Yeah. And I'll say, guys, I
like
called 20 to 30 people, and only half of them, if not more, hung up. So I take a little credit for that boost.
She was good. She was good. I liked her answers. She was pragmatic. That's all I care about. Literally all I care about. So
she'll be fine. There's a bright future. I'm sure it's not the last we've seen of her.
Yeah, I think there's another primary coming up, right? Is it next cycle in 2028? I don't know, but Michael Bennett, he lost the. Should we talk a little bit about the primaries that occurred in Colorado? So
yeah, go for it.
We had another DSA endorsed candidate beat out a 30-year incumbent. And this is, I believe, in Denver. Yeah.
Colorado's first congressional district. Yeah.
So her first name, is it Milat? I want to get the pronunciation right.
Oh, That's so. I feel the worst because I've met her in real life at that Shoykout thing, and I don't know how to fucking pronounce her name.
I think it's Mila, but I don't know.
And by the way, I don't know if you were getting shit for this, Hutch, but when you said she sounds like she has a Star Wars name, I agree with that.
No, you know what?
That does,
honestly,
it does sound like a Star Wars name.
Like
I'm sorry.
5 seconds after that clip, I was like, you know what? That was a little racist. I probably shouldn't do
Why
that.
is that racist? If she was right, I said the same thing. It's a Star Warsy name. I'm sorry.
Listen, I mean, it literally was like people were replying saying
Maylot, with an M-A-Y lot.
Okay, gotcha. But apparently Kiros is a planet in Star Wars, and so some people were replying to that thread by saying,
"Oh, so you were literally vindicated."
So yeah, you weren't just like correct. You were exactly correct.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Hutch wasn't referencing. Hutch wasn't referencing that planet when he said it was like a star because he didn't know about that planet until someone brought it to his attention. Fair.
Well,
Is that
optics
really
were not great, so
racist?
I can see that.
No.
All right.
Please go to your point.
Wait, guys. Brain blast from my chat, guys. McMorrow dropped. What if she moves to Maine?
Ha ha.
That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Why not?
I don't hate
He's already
it.
got the name recognition.
You got to live
not
there
gonna
for
work.
a while.
Oh.
You can just carpet bag there in 1 week and get the nomination.
All right.
It's not like the UK. You were gonna say something, guy.
I was going to say, Michael Bennett, his Senate term is up in 2028.
Yeah. So there would be an
That's another
opportunity to contest 2028, and now that she's maybe like shown that she's willing to or able to contest in really where the odds stacked against her in terms of money, in terms of name ID, popularity, all that kind of stuff, maybe she'll get a boost.
Well, I would love for her to come back and say, what would you do differently? Seeing how you did well, would you not change anything? And it's just name recognition and more money. Like I would be very curious. She seemed like a brilliant person. She went to Yale. It's like I would love to hear her say, you know what, this is what worked, this is what didn't, and this is what I would change. I think that'd be interesting.
She was the state Senate whip like Gonzalez was too. The Maylot race, I'm pretty sure that the person that she primaried was like very, very progressive, right? Like I'm pretty sure the person she replaced supported Medicare for all, if I'm not mistaken.
That district is like D plus 32. It's very blue. So yeah, DeGette was considered quite progressive.
There was a clip today making the rounds from Hassan where he was like, we're finally challenging Republicans. Like we're no longer we're giving an affirmative vision for what our vision of America is, instead of just saying that we're not, we're simply not Republicans. And I couldn't help but think, like, are they challenging a single like Republican seat in the cycle? I don't think so. I think the average like D plus makeup of all of their combined seats is like plus 30. I don't think they're targeting a single swing district as far as I understand.
No,
in terms of accomplished primary wins, or in terms of just place they're targeting.
Primary wins at the congressional level. I mean,
they're not even trying in swing districts.
No.
I mean, they're not taking it seriously. What was I going to say? I don't remember. I had something.
Mitch McConnell. Speaking of Senate races and senators,
Laura Loomer has it on good authority that he is brain dead, and I am choosing to believe her for the one time ever because it makes me feel good.
I want them to weekend at McConnell's for a couple of weeks at least, because supposedly if they can carry him through the beginning of August, then they won't have a special election. So I don't know if you guys know, but I looked it up. In Kentucky, they changed the rules in 2024 to spite Andy Beshear, the Republican state legislature, that if there is a vacancy, normally the governor gets to appoint the person. In Kentucky, the law says they have to have a special election within 150 days. If it's close to November, then they can have it in November. So I think if he can just stay hidden for a couple more weeks, then there'll be no senator until at least the election in November.
Oh, okay. See, I thought the opposite guy. I thought it was if he is gone and they're hiding it because they don't want to have a special election. They don't want like a Massey to run, for example. That was my understanding. But you're saying it would be better than for Democrats.
And when you say they don't want Massey to run, you of course mean
Republicans.
Well, I'm saying if Mitch McConnell is no longer walking this earth, then it's better that nobody finds out until the beginning of August, because I think that gives Beshear enough time to say, okay, November's too close. We're just going to leave it vacant until November, and then whoever wins will get into the Senate then. But anyways, the best case scenario is Mitch McConnell just stays home rehabilitating through the end of December, and the Republicans have one less vote in the Senate.
And we hope he recovers, right?
The one clip of him, do you remember the one clip of him where he just like fucking freezes in a press conference?
That's twice, Hutch.
Bro,
twice.
He did it twice? I didn't see the second one. Yeah. It's hard, man. It's hard watching that because like I loathe his politics, but it's hard watching the old person. Do you guys remember the McCain clip from the first Trump term when he fucking completely stroked out and when he was questioning James Comey? It was like a similar situation.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. There's a lot of this stuff going around. This like clinging on until you're literally on life support.
Yeah.
Can we watch that Mitch McConnell clip, guys, just for me?
Why?
Just so everyone knows what probably happened, right?
It's
gnarly.
Rough.
Okay, we won't watch it. Fine. You guys seem too depressed by it.
So let me ask
Sorry,
you,
I feel good when bad things happen to people that I think have made this country demonstrably worse, but whatever,
Well, I just think of their families, and they didn't choose for their.
Hitler had a family guy, all right?
Hitler did have a family. That is true.
So let me just poll you guys. Do you think first that he's still alive? Because some people are saying he's not. What do you think?
I think he's alive.
That would be hard to hide to death, I think. Like that. I mean, don't you have to like call the coroner? Isn't there some kind of public record of something like that?
What kind of death?
Hold on. Just had a Republican go to the hospital for 4 months and nobody knew what was going on and couldn't figure it out. The guy.
Has there ever been a case like that where someone's actually died and
Jordan Peterson
kept it secret?
I don't think you can keep that a secret.
Ayatollah's son, perhaps, who's now Ayatollah.
Well, we don't know what's happened. To pray over his casket today or something. So.
He wasn't there apparently.
We didn't even talk about that Republican who came out and gave a speech on the floor talking about depression. He got hospitalized for depression. Have the right wingers even addressed that at all? I was just assuming that they would torch him and call him weak and whatever.
Yeah, Lauren Boebert made fun of him, said he was sad. That's no excuse to disappear just for being sad.
That's pretty wild.
How long was Feinstein hidden from us? Was it just a few days or was it a week? I don't remember that.
That was months. She was declining for, I think, many months.
Yeah, but they still wheeled her in for like a vote. She wasn't brain dead, right? Like she was technically alive.
She was pretty fucking brain dead at the end when they wheeled her in. Like her staffers had to lean in and basically tell her what to do.
She was recovering in California, and Mitch McConnell got all mad and was like, "She needs to come here, or we're going to remove her from committees." And so they basically killed her because she had to fly and speed up her rehabilitation, and probably prematurely died. Not that she had much longer, but still, it probably took a couple days off her life by forcing her to fly out to DC.
Well, there's historical precedent for this. I mean, they hid FDR's condition. They hid that Reagan was fucking dementiaing out. Like
that's a scam. That's not true. That's not true. He wasn't having dementia while he was in office. It was shortly.
Is that really not true? Yeah. Well, at the very least, that his astrology-brained wife was telling him how to fucking make policy. That might as well be dementia, okay?
Yeah, true. True.
These are fascinating times, man. A lot going on. Isn't it crazy? It's like summer before the midterms. You wouldn't think there'd be this much going on, but it's a lot.
And I want to address the elephant in the room, guys.
Okay.
Why did we start our show at 6 o'clock? All right. The reason we started our show at 6 o'clock is that there's the U.S. men's national team playing tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, it is relevant to bring this up, not just because of the connection to the start time of the show, but because the bastard himself, the elected President Trump, involved himself in the decision to suspend the red card of Flo Balogun, our star striker, and to convince, allegedly, FIFA to do this suspension. Now,
hold on,
I thought the red card was bullshit. Go ahead.
Trump denied this.
Trump said he
didn't tell him what to do. He didn't tell him what to do.
Okay. Regardless of what you think he explicitly said or not, I am going to be 100% consistent with this. I think the red card is bullshit. I don't think it was a red card. I've had plenty of conversations online about it, and I'm someone who has watched soccer my entire life. It's one of my first foray into streaming was streaming FIFA. I was inspired by this little cringe, but I actually think it was good. KSI LGBT, his initial FIFA videos, I thought were really funny. Now they kind of aged not great because he makes a lot of uncouth jokes or whatever. But I've always been a huge soccer fan, and I thought this was a travesty. I don't think it was a red card, and I thought that FIFA should reconsider the fact that he did it. Go ahead. Sorry.
I did not watch the game. I haven't watched any. I'd like to watch tonight if I can. But my understanding is we were up 2-0 in the game that he got the red card. Like, why would he do something so aggressive and so crazy on purpose? So I don't know. But hey, this is the first time Trump's corruption actually benefited us. So I guess silver lining.
Yeah, I listen. I don't want to support corruption, and so I won't. And when Trump calls the FIFA president, and given Trump's track record, and makes a demand, and now apparently with other reporting, I don't know if New York Times or elsewhere, that he's getting Lutnick involved in these conversations, I'm going to take a negative inference against what occurred, and I'm going to say unless FIFA can demonstrate conclusively, or at least with some degree of probability, that their decision was independent and they released their rationale for why they're suspending Flo Balogun's red card and giving just probation, I'm going to assume it was corrupt. And therefore, I think, unfortunately for the team, because Trump has involved himself, they now become a party to it. And I do think that Balogun, he probably won't do this. I'm fairly certain he won't. He should sit the entire game out. I think they should bench him. Wow. Because you don't want to have, not every team gets access to some lunatic, corrupt asshole to make these kinds of demands of FIFA, whether or not they were heated to or not.
It's FIFA. That's the whole point of hosting the game,
I don't want U.S. men's national team involved in that shit.
I don't know if the other two guys have anything they want to weigh in here, but I feel like, isn't it Belgium that we're playing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that they would, but I think that their win would always have an asterisk on it if we didn't have our star striker in there. So I think just for the sake of the game and competition, they probably want that guy in there. I know that they've been crying about it, like, that's not right, because, they want to win. But I mean, just, it's kind of like when you play League of Legends and you're raffle stomping the other team 20-1. It's like, this is a joke. Like, watching MSI, I don't know if any League fans, but there's like these great
teams
from Korea
a League
and China
fan? Since when? What the fuck?
I got a queue with him.
I understand that, but I just don't want our team associated with that bullshit. I will still support the U.S. men's national team, okay? I will still support it. But I don't like this fucking corruption. It's like a mob boss, right? He needs to dirty you up. He needs to fucking get you involved in the corruption. And if you don't do anything, he will bring you into that kind of dirtied up state of mind. And I just hate that shit. And I just don't want the game to be ruined by that. Not to say that FIFA has a good track record either. They have to be clear, very poor track record. But I hate this shit. I don't want to benefit from corruption.
Real quick, Hutch, I don't know if you have anything to say on the red card real quick before I make a slightly adjacent point. So, I mean, you mentioned, Guy, this idea of like, big asterisk if they don't have their star striker. Do you guys know, have you read, what happens to the Iran team while they're here?
No,
so, go back apparently they're not allowed to, stay in the country. And
there's a country ban.
Yeah, there's a country ban. So they have to, stay in Tijuana and, drive over the border for, hours every day for each game. They don't have staff because they only allowed, a limited amount of people. So they're, they have to fetch all their own water and all the stuff. And so anytime they lose, I'm like, how big, they're not playing to their prime. That's bullshit. I don't know. Why are we, I get why we're doing it, but I don't know. I think that kind of sucks.
To be fair, I mean, I don't think Iran was winning the tournament, but yeah.
We can never know. Who can know? Look, Paraguay beat Germany, right? Stranger things have happened.
It's an interesting situation for sure. It's fascinating. I don't know. I think the bigger story is just how people don't give a shit about the World Cup because Trump ruined it along with July 4th and the 250th anniversary, right?
I don't agree though because the World Cup has been awesome and I think America has done a really good job with it and the games.
Has it risen above the politics?
I think it has. I don't like seeing Cash Patel at the fucking game when he should be doing his job. I don't like seeing these loser corrupt fucks at the games and shit. But the games have been good. I mean, the game today with Portugal and Spain was kind of a snoozer. The stars are all performing. You have Holland scoring. You have Mbappe scoring. Messi scoring. Ronaldo just got out, but he scored 3 goals and he's 58 years old. So in general, it's been good. And I don't want for Trump to ruin shit for the appearance for America. I don't want that.
No.
Hutch, did you want me to show this on screen?
It's just a funny tweet. You don't have to.
I'll show it on screen. Now everyone's going to wonder what is Hutch gigging about in the corner.
Yeah,
This is the digital ground game people coming to Kyle for his Plattner tweet, making a Charlie Kirk reference thrown in there. How fun!
That was Tim Pool.
Tim Pool was the one that had some sources that said Charlie was stable, and my source against that was I watched the video of it happening, so I don't know what you're talking about, Tim.
Oh boy, I was looking at the trial or the preliminary hearing of the Tyler Robinson case with tomfoolery this morning, random, but he wanted to do, and it was fun, whatever. And we were just seeing Plattner's like there was no actual story yet, but all of a sudden you saw Polymarket, the odds start increasing from like 20 to 30 till where it was like 44%. And they're like, okay, someone knows some shit.
Damn.
Is Candace Owens still adamant that it's a kangaroo court? It's all sham.
Yeah, she was like, it's a sham because in a preliminary hearing they're not going to bring in Lance Twiggs, and Lance Twiggs is like his roommate or whatever, or lover. I'm not sure.
His lover.
Yeah. Tom Fuller thought his name was Lance Buns. I don't know where that came from, but.
Speaking of, you briefly mentioned the 250 celebration, which was pretty depressing. I don't know if you saw any of the videos of just this like completely sparse courtyard where just no one is showing up. But what did you guys think of? I know someone wanted to talk about Mom Donnie's speech, his 250th celebration speech.
It was great. That was a great speech. It really was. It was fantastic. I mean, I went into it with a certain kind of set of expectations because the reactions to it were so unhinged. But I was kind of internally kind of bracing for just like peak kind of cringe America bad based on like the responses that I saw. And it wasn't that at all. It was just a beautiful, moving speech. Listened to it with my fiance. She's not like as into politics as I am, but she was kind of moved to tears listening to it. And I haven't loved all of his decisions recently, but I mean, it was just a fantastic speech. I loved it.
Yeah, he's got the sauce. We should change the Constitution. I'll say it now. Let's let him run, boys.
Well, the Supreme Court cases.
Well, but I want to just to build on what you said. So, like he was asked Mamdani about that. Do you think the Constitution should be changed? He's like, I think it's fine. I don't like that. I'm a naturalized citizen. Why am I different? Why is my loyalty?
You're naturalized? I agree with that, by the way. Yeah, I totally agree.
Naturalized from where?
I thought that was really weird of him to say.
He's
just like,
I think he just doesn't want to cause a stir. He has no benefit to saying like, I had ambition for president. He doesn't want to feed into the anti-American bullshit narrative, and I appreciate that.
I think but I think it does feed into the anti-American sentiment because it creates two classes of citizens.
I agree. The Constitution does. It's supposed to be equal citizenship, but in one respect, they're not equal, and that is for people who are natural-born citizens. They have the right to be president, and none don't. And I think that's fucked up. I don't agree.
But guy, you're naturalized, you said?
Yeah, I was brought here as a baby. Like literally.
From where?
Oh, you don't want me to say.
It's Israel, isn't it, guy? Oh my God, we've been APAC infiltrated. Live and learn APAC infiltration.
Was one of your? You don't have to reveal this if you don't want to.
My APAC handlers have cautioned me not to say too much.
You don't have to answer this, by the way. But was one of your parents American citizens? You don't have to answer this.
Yes. Yeah, my dad is a full-blown Yankee.
Was he when you were born?
Yes.
Oh, then you might be a natural-born citizen.
No, I have dual citizenship.
No, you have
still
dual
have
citizenship.
dual
You might be a
citizenship.
natural-born citizen.
Oh, I think
Notwithstanding the fact
he
you were
is.
born in a different country, you were at the time that you came into nature. You were a citizen. You were born a citizen.
IRS position changes immediately
except
now.
to indicate that you're.
Oh, actually, fuck this.
There's a blood connection, but you were a citizen at the time of your birth. I think you were.
There's only one way to find out, and that's for Guy to run for president.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you might be. I'm literally. I think I'm correct. I think that you are a natural-born citizen if at the time you were born you were a U.S. citizen. I think you were.
I don't know what that entails. I guess that's a conversation maybe for another day. But
yeah, you're not gonna have it won't be that much money for me to determine that for you. You can, a couple $1,000 and we can call it.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate the discount. But I really take offense to that. And it's not even for on my behalf. Really, it's like, why are we drawing a line here? And why is Mamdani playing into that? Because it's not just a technicality. Like, oh no, it makes sense if you're born here. It's like, no, we're sending a clear message that you cannot be trusted with the the controls of this country if you were not born here. As if my loyalty or patriotism is being challenged. I find that ridiculous.
He probably knows how that would be interpreted, and he seems like a smart guy. So,
look at some of the attacks on him right now. It's like photos of 9/11. Like, we let a Muslim run this city after 9/11 happened. This guy's anti-American because he said that America has done bad things before. He's hanging out with the America Bad Hassan Piker guy, and if he goes out and says, I think that I should run the country, yeah, he's going to get so much of that flack directed straight at him, and there's no benefit. He's not running for president next year or next session, probably not 2 sessions. If he ever did, it would be like far in the future. There's no benefit to him saying, yeah, we should change the Constitution so I can run. Absolutely none.
Yeah, but he could have spoken about it more eloquently than be like, no, I don't think we should change it. Like,
okay, here, this is the definitive explanation. You were born outside the geographical limits of the United States. One of your parents is a U.S. citizen. Prior to the birth of you, was your dad physically present in the United States for a period or periods totaling not less than 5 years?
That I actually don't know the answer to.
All right, that's what you got to find out. And 2 of which were after he was 14. So if he spent 5 years in America and 2 of years were after he was 14, then I think you are a natural-born citizen by 8 U.S.C. 1401.
But as far as I'm concerned, Guy, you shot a gun. You're a fucking American now, and that's what matters.
True. Yeah. I'm as American as anybody, man. I don't give a shit what it says in the Constitution.
Hell yeah. That's what this country's about.
Speaking of birthright citizenship, we just had major Supreme Court cases and a big win But is it that much of a big win? Because we were just reaffirming prior precedent with the birthright citizenship decision. And wait, did we ever talk about this? This happened.
I think we did. Yeah, we talked about it last week.
No, we fucking
No,
didn't.
we didn't talk about birthright. Birthright happened on Tuesday. We talked about it coming
That's
up. I mean,
right.
no, everyone
You
suspected
tried
this
this
wouldn't happen, but yeah, it feels like we did, Hutch, because we've talked about this for a while, and then you get the discourse online for a whole week.
I won't spend another sentence on it other than to say, well, I'll do one more sentence.
No, we should talk about it. I think it's crazy.
We still need to expand the court. Obviously, this is the most clear originalist case that there's ever been. The arguments on this side are so bad. And the fact that on the constitutional issue, it was 5-4. That is horrible. That is insane given the arguments. Now, it was 6-3 on the judgment. That's only because Kavanaugh said that the statute needs to be interpreted to keep up with the incorrect assessment of the Constitution, given that the statute was passed in light of an incorrect decision on his own view. But we were just two Trump-appointed justices away from getting rid of birthright citizenship totally, and one away from getting rid of the constitutional protection. That's insane.
Yeah, that was super scary, especially because, I mean, like, the way that the right reacted to this was like, oh my God, our country's done now. It's like, well, this is what it's been. What do you mean? Nothing changed. This ruling was, let's keep doing what we're doing.
And it was reaffirming Wong Kim Ark, prior precedent of the court, and the way things have been done for 100+ years.
Right, and then we just barely scraped by to not let the most crazy fucking thing ever happen, which is we just start denaturalizing people. Like, what do we do with guys? Is he gonna be naturalized? Like, yeah, it's like there's gonna be all these crazy things that would happen if they overturned that. And the fact that it was that close honestly scared the fuck out of me. Like, I thought it was gonna be like when I heard the arguments like a month or two ago, I thought it was gonna be 8-0, like 8-1, 7-2, not 5-4 on the constitutional basis. Like, I'm genuinely fucking scared that, like, this is like all right, maybe not this time, but like next round, like after the midterms or something. I don't know.
Yeah, JD Vance is correct. I mean, they have every reason to believe that if they fuck with the court enough, that they could within our lifetime get rid of it. I mean, JD Vance is right about that.
Well, the silver lining, I think, is the stock for advocates for packing the court, I think, go up every time something like this happens. So
the Alito misannouncement was interesting too. That kind of got buried, right? So NPR comes out with this. Alito's retired.
Yeah.
Not even retiring.
No.
Retired. Gone.
Yeah. Was that a preemptive thing, you think? Like he told them and he's like, they accidentally announced it earlier?
it might have been like a stock draft or something. I don't know. That's bizarre.
It's a stock draft? I don't know.
Yeah. Something. Well, but they said then there was a rumor that he was going to announce on Friday, so they retracted. But then he didn't say anything on Friday. Right. So very, very interesting situation. But I still think he's going to bail eventually.
Do you guys think we should, speaking of Mitch McConnell, block that fucking pick for 2 years until the American people can decide who they want to be in the Supreme Court?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, absolutely.
These rat fucks are they're gonna have Thomas and Alito drop out in November after they lose the midterm, so they have that lame duck period of a month and a half and get it done then. So that's why I'm praying Mitch McConnell just rehabilitates as a vegetable through the end of Congress's term. You know what I mean? Please get better, Mitch. Take your time, rest, stay home,
drink water.
Yeah, get better. Please eat plenty of leafy greens.
That is an interesting question. If you have a power of attorney, could you resign for a senator who was like a vegetable?
I would assume so, right?
Yeah, I mean, imagine it's like quitting a job, right?
Yeah. I just wonder if there's got to be like a constitutional issue there of some kind. No, but you're right. We should block those. If there's any vacancies, they should all be blocked. Just like fuck 'em.
When it comes to these Supreme Court rulings, I can't help but wonder if all the problems not being solved, whenever I see this and like Trump taking birthright citizenship all the way to the Supreme Court for an obvious L, it's like, dude, what a fucking epic waste of time with all the problems in America and things we could use the courts to deal with. That always just breaks my heart. And I knew this was going to happen in November. Pisco, when we were sitting there on election night, I wasn't crying, you were crying, and I think we both knew we're just going to tread water for the next 4 years and dick around with Trump's dumb
I was
ideas.
devastated though. I'll never forget. Because we were both at the same.
Imagine wasting the times of the court so much.
At Destiny's election thing. And I remember walking out feeling so fucking empty, and there was a woman who was there, and she waved at me, and she's like, I asked, like, how are you doing? She's like, I'm not okay. I'm like, me too. It was just like a horrible, horrible time. So yeah, I wasn't like crying, but it was rough. This was so bad, and like our country has suffered so much because of its stupid fucking choice.
Pretty not cash money.
Yeah, like somebody said in my chat, the opportunity cost. And it really is. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, good God, is this really what the Supreme Court should be focused on? What a waste, man.
Also, Flo Balogun is literally our star striker who, according to Trump, he gave a good word to the FIFA president personally. He was born as a quote-unquote, I don't want to say it's birth tours. It wasn't birth tours. Like, apparently she wasn't let on the plane to go back, but his parents were like from different countries. I think one was from UK. I forget. But anyway, he got citizenship only because he was here as his parents were temporary sojourners, and they had to give birth in the country while she was pregnant. And that's the only reason he has U.S. citizenship. And so I love that everyone in MAGA world is standing Flo Balogun, and he is the same people that they would like not welcome into this country. It reminds me, by the way, similar of other European countries, that when it comes to like pursuits in which you see a lot of success from immigrants or immigrant families or people with immigrant connections, then they're happy to celebrate them as part of the fabric of their nation. But only then. But when it comes to bad apples or people who are doing bad things, now they're all negative, and it bears on all of them. So it's there's no parity, there's no equality, and so
Pisco, that's my experience.
I love Balogun.
I don't know if you guys have maybe Guy, you can speak to this. Like when you talk to Trump supporters, but every single time I was going to these Trump rallies, I was asking about mass deportations. I was like, what about a guy who comes here, he's been here 20 years, he works and he pays his taxes, he just wants to make a good life. Every single time they're like, well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
As soon as you can humanize it, as soon as you can put like a little anecdote on it, it's like, oh, suddenly it's okay. It's so ridiculous.
They just don't like skipping the line. I think that most of Americans' frustrations with a bunch of shit is this intuitive notion of fairness and like skipping lines, skipping queues, not putting away your grocery cart at the those are the kind of things that matter to Americans for some reason. No, I mean
don't
logically, but
they don't have all the facts either. Like they're just sneaking in. They don't get any background checks. Nothing. These people are smuggling children with them. But speaking of Pisco, another Supreme Court ruling was the TPS ruling. So I think Trump has created a problem now because if he starts kicking out these Haitians, hundreds of thousands of Haitians and Venezuelans, people are going to be like, yo, wait a second. These guys are part of the community. Wait a second. Where are my employees at? So especially in a place like Ohio, which is becoming a swing state this election cycle, I think he created a huge problem. I always tell people, when Trump proudly says, I closed the border, I stopped illegal immigration, who needs an open border when you can just cancel 1 million people's legal immigration status and create illegal immigrants from within? Because they're not going anywhere. They're going into the shadows.
Yeah, it comes down to this notion of illegal immigrant, which is nowhere defined in the actual statute. This is a terminology that people now associate with here without status, but everyone here on TPS was lawfully allowed to be here under the provisions of TPS. And that is supposed to maintain itself so long as the conditions requiring TPS maintain themselves. And one of the reasons why I think the administration was loath to actually go through the procedural steps that the statute required, which apparently it's totally unreviewable. If you I guess the next Democratic president could say the entire world has TPS, open borders, and we're going to reauthorize it every day so that it reassesses every day, and the courts wouldn't be able to review that. So, I guess you can just openly violate the law, whatever. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is the administration doesn't want to put on paper that the conditions in Haiti are such that we no longer need TPS, because of course they're not. Because of course the conditions in Haiti are still atrocious. We don't, like, the State Department has the highest level alert for Haiti, and so it's laughable to think that it's still the truth is, in the estimation of the State Department, it's not safe for Americans, right? And it's definitely not like good for Americans to go there. But if hundreds of thousands of Haitians die, so be it.
Well, they're from there. They know how to navigate it. We would not know what we're doing there. So yeah, but I agree. Like that, but I think it's gonna hurt them to start removing these people. They're so happy, like, we won. We can finally kick them out of here. It's like, wait a second now. Even Governor DeWine, the Republican governor in Ohio, was like, this is a bad ruling. These people are our community. These are our workers. What is going on here?
Guys, breaking
Someone
news.
just super chatted me that Plattner dropped out.
Looks like Graham Plattner's dropping out. All right. So we got 2 weeks. 2 weeks to find someone better. Let's do it, guys.
It's 1 week.
We got 1 week.
Okay, so let me have more.
The 13th at 5 p.m.
That's when he has to withdraw, I think, right? I think we have more time to.
I think it has to be. Well, I could be wrong about that. I thought it had to be my next week.
What if it's Janet Mills? Will Pisco? Will you?
I will
get
endorse
excited
100%.
for that
100%
living corpse. Okay,
not even a question. Yes.
Why wouldn't we?
Not endorse. I'm talking enthusiasm.
Enthusiastically, yes, 100%.
I think that
like
would be...
you need to be. We have to. No, Hutch is saying we shouldn't do that, but it's right. If it's the case that she's, of course, enthusiastically, I'll stand by her. I'll go fucking go door to door with her to do it.
Why are people saying cooked? Do you really think that she can be endorsed after or that after she lost? That just seems crazy. I think I don't know.
We need to stop this fascist
would think
threat.
that they need to
and
go
if
with a
that's
different
Plattner, it's
candidate.
Plattner.
But then who? Somebody that nobody voted on at all?
Know,
You're in such a fucked spot. Like
it's Mills. It's Mills.
I'm just teasing you. I know you will,
Yeah,
but
okay,
it's just. But what a circle, man! Like if it comes back to Mills, wow, incredible. I'm actually pretty pissed. I'm pretty. Yeah, she played the long game. I'm pretty pissed at Plattner because he told our senators, Charles Schumer,
He lied to
Gillibrand,
Chuck.
all the leadership. He said right to their
That
face,
was the worst
Bernie
of it.
Sanders, there ain't nothing else. I'm clean as a whistle. That's it. You're not going to hear from one more heartbroken ex that I did something to. And here, lo and behold.
It was I think like 2 hours after that meeting that the New York Times story came out. So
Well, that's what's so shitty about this. It's like, look, if you're going to run for Senate, you've got skeletons in your closet. This fucking many, you need to realize, like, you are hurting everyone around you when you do this. Like, you were talking about, like, oh, hey, is this going to drag down the Democratic Party after the New York Times story played out? This is absolutely, like, every single person who campaigned with him, now that he's like, okay, actually, I did do this and I got to drop out or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. And, like, are you going to run knowing, like, they're going to scrape every single text message, every single everything, and find every single little thing about you? Don't fucking run for office if you're a fucking rapist, tattoo, Nazi having, kill war criminal ass endorsing, you know, like maybe just don't run.
I mean,
buddy.
who pushed him so hard to run, right?
Then
They-
we'd
I
have
mean,
nobody.
No, what?
The Janet Mills story is about to drop.
There's a few people that aren't all that.
Janet
Come
Mills is a
on.
rapist. Is that what you're saying, Ira?
Just allegations against her too. Okay, I'm sure.
No. You know what Soypo is talking about, and I think we need to, because I think Ira is correct that we need to have some amount of tolerance above no tolerance. I mean, that was basically the argument for voting for an imperfect candidate in any election. But also, I do agree with Soypil that the more vetted you are, I think, like we shouldn't just have these idiots or whoever the people who did the vetting for Graham Plattner are in charge of it or whoever. Like we need some real vetting.
Oh, we need like the establishment, like people that have
Imagine
like had
going
experience
out
running
on rape
races and
allegations. Like,
Sorry, who
what
did
are
the
you
vetting
doing,
again?
dude? At least fight that for a couple
It was
days.
some little
like, you're just
progressive
like,
group of
I'm
weirdos,
dropping
I think.
out. Yep, I raped. Like,
Well,
dude, what the
look
fuck?
at the
You're
reaction,
41
guys.
years old, man.
Schumer's calling, Rose calling, like, you know, everyone's just like, this is, he lost everyone with this one, so I don't think he had a choice.
He just got Eric Swalwell, you know, like he's a fucking monster now. He's gonna have an HBO series about him soon, you know, like, damn, bro. Good luck with your life, but shouldn't have done that shitty stuff. You know?
I have to ask you guys, if there was one public persona who would still defend him through this, who would it be?
Jank or Kyle?
It would be like some kind of author, some kind of like horror
King?
author.
You went Stephen King.
You're close. Think who's an Epstein ride or dyer?
Michael Tracy.
Michael Tracy.
No, but I'm also right about
Michael
Stephen
Tracy
King.
is still defending.
But I'm also right about Stephen King.
Are we reading the same political article on Plattner?
Stephen King is right, by the way. I would still vote for Plattner over Collins if I was up there.
Where she explicitly describes his conduct as consensual. Hello? I think Michael Tracy
careless
is a Plattner dead ender.
Yeah.
What a mess. Now, look, I will say this. This is drama, and it'll get a lot more people paying attention, and I'm sure the eventual nominee will hopefully benefit from all these eyes. And I don't know,
the
man.
optimist.
You know me.
Ever the optimist, IRI.
Wait, can I ask Hutch about that though, IRI? Because Hutch just said when we talked about Mills and you were kind of joking around, Hutch like physically cringed and was like, "This would be a bad idea." So I want to know more about Hutch's thinking on the way forward.
I can't think of. There's a universe in which you can replace this guy with a candidate that has like a lot of natural charisma, maybe is well respected in the state, and is a lot younger and can generate enthusiasm. It just seems like tactically pretty dumb to replace him with a candidate that he just like absolutely stomped because her campaign couldn't generate any excitement.
Yeah.
You know, that being said, if they did pick her and I was a voter in Maine, I would obviously vote for Mills, but I think there has to be better options.
You would hope so, huh?
Well, there was another guy, Costello. He came in third place in that. Wasn't he like kind of progressive? I remember some people saying good things about him. Maybe he's the guy.
Well, I don't know. You guys are saying like we can't put in Mills. Like the Maine voters rejected her. Look how bad she pulled. I'm sorry. Who did we appoint? After Biden dropped out, we appointed 2% primary vote winner Kamala Harris. You know, like she did pretty damn fucking good.
The vice president,
the only
too, though.
person
So.
with worse approval ratings than Joe Biden. We put her as the nominee.
Oh God!
It'll be fine, guys. Come on, this is easy. This is politics. This will be a layup.
I
I
think
appreciate
I
your
think Collins
optimism.
still has it. I think her concernometer is at 0 right now.
Nah, in all seriousness, I think it comes down to the economy and all the problems before this are still there, and that's what's going to get. Think about like what gets people to go out and vote. It's a lot. Voting is kind of annoying. Like there's all these different races. You got to go fill out a ballot. You got to go drop it in the mail, whatever. So you got to be really motivated, and I just don't think any of this stuff is like gonna like trump the economy and how pissed people are about how expensive life is.
We'll
My
see.
thoughts.
I hope that you're right about your estimation, Ira. You're always the eternal optimist, and I appreciate that. Folks, I got to get going pretty soon because I got to support my boys, even if they're being a little corrupt. Not really them, more Trump.
Can you even celebrate it fully, Pisco, knowing that corruption and cheating are at play here?
Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying,
The
guys.
reason I can
No, my
still
God, I just
support
love
the
this.
U.S. men's national team is I don't think that they were the prime actors in the corruption. I just think that at most of the uninvolved acceptors of corruption, and that's bad. But for me, it's not enough to be like I'm not supporting them this go around. So I still think it's okay for me to support the team generally. The sweetener to that is I do think the red card was unjust. And so fuck Belgium, America all the way. We're gonna win this fucking shit. And if we don't, I'm just gonna die a little bit inside. But
Well, speaking of dual loyalty, the only team I ever really care about in soccer ever is Germany, and they're already out. So whatever, USA. I only want them to win.
Why do you support fucking Germany?
I don't know. I just like watching them play, and I'm German, and that's really. I guess USA. You know what? I want them to win the whole thing, so we can say it's called soccer now. All right, no more football. It's called soccer now.
Football.
Wow.
All right. Well, that's a good place to wrap it. That very timely story dropped right at the end there. Guy, what do you got going on this week?
Nothing exciting. I got some new lighting here. I got new camera and stuff, not installed, but I'm redesigning my whole site here. So hopefully I'll have.
Yes, I saw some people in my chat asking about it. It's definitely noticeable.
Yeah,
You took down the Plattner sign.
Oh, well, I never had
that's
one.
A,
You
jo-
never
that's
had
a
one.
joke. I know.
No, but hopefully I'll have a big reveal here, and I'm excited. I think that's the step up, so it's gonna be fun.
Right on. Hutch, what are you doing this week?
Just regular streams. We'll obviously be diving more into the Plattner stuff tomorrow. So we're going to start like around 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. And that's
Wow,
about
you've
it.
been going early.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to get, I've been late last couple
Crazy.
times.
All right, Pisco, what's going on?
Speaking of the WIC class, WIC TV tomorrow. Oh, I don't have the time. I'll retweet it. I'll retweet the time.
It's
so
got to
check
be
my...
3 p.m. Pacific Standard. That's when he always starts.
Okay, so it'll be 6
6
p.m. Eastern,
Eastern.
it seems?
Yeah.
Yeah, so around that time.
Okay. Is there like a big America soccer game in like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Damn. Who are we playing against?
Paraguay.
Wow. That's...
I lied. Belgium. I fucking lied to you.
Are you fucking serious, bro? Are you even trying?
Yeah, they were showing highlights of Paraguay, sorry. Oh, bomb.
Good one.
You?
True.
Now what?
I just want to beat this fucking boss. Do you know why soccer balls are white and black? I don't know. Ask your mom. She would definitely know. Really?
It's funny.
We're good. Fuck. Never mind, we're good. No. Yes. Bruh. Are you seriously, bruh?
Bruh.
Bruh.
Are you gonna live?
It's just he should have been fucking staggered. Oh my bruh god.
You can stagger him now.
No, it's... He shouldn't have gotten to summon this thing.
Oh, he summoned a thing.
Yeah, he summoned a fucking thing, bruh. Are we serious right